A casual mortal gift turns into the weapon demons are suddenly terrified of. Spoilers ahead. This is a Chinese manhua where the joke is simple, but the consequences are huge. Lin Yinfan thinks he is just a powerless mortal living quietly in a cultivation world, while the people and creatures around him keep treating his ordinary hobbies like impossible divine secrets. So when his disciples, visitors, and demon-connected allies carry his gifts into the wider world, they are not just carrying soup, boxes, or casual advice. They are carrying disasters disguised as kindness, and nobody outside his little circle is ready for what that means. Okay, so the pressure starts in a surprisingly gentle place. A young girl rushes back to her long-haired father or master, glowing with the kind of growth that makes him immediately proud. She talks about the master she met in the mountains, and from the way everyone reacts, this is not treated like a normal teacher-student story. There is awe in the room, almost disbelief, as if her spiritual insight has jumped far beyond what should be possible. But here is the thing. While one side celebrates, the forest is already unstable. Demon figures argue in the aftermath of the Silver Moon Demon King's death, and the Fox clan is left staring at a power vacuum. A pink-haired fox woman comforts an injured white fox spirit, trying to make her stop fearing the role that may now be waiting for her. From there, the mood shifts back toward Master Li's circle, where a black-haired robed man speaks calmly with companions in a compound, while a brown-haired young man reacts like someone trying not to panic in front of people far stronger than him. A red-orange object becomes the center of attention, and nobody can treat it casually for long. It might be a blade, it might be an artifact, but either way, the way it is framed makes it feel dangerous. The moment it activates, the scene dips into a darker spiritual space full of purple force and shadowy pressure, and that tells you the object is not just decorative. It carries weight. Then the story snaps back to conversation, and somehow the tension swerves into comedy, with fiery food or a pot-like scene leaving everyone shocked again. Lin is desperate now, and that desperation is the funny part and the dangerous part at the same time. He wants to redeem himself because he is terrified that his connection to Master Li could end, so he brings a strange soup as a gesture of goodwill to people tied to the missing Silver Moon Demon King. On the surface, it is just food. But the moment the women smell it, their focus cracks, because the soup carries spiritual intensity that does not belong in a normal meal. They discuss ingredients that sound absurdly high-level, like spiritual wood, special water, and other rare materials treated as if they were kitchen basics. Then someone drinks it, and the body cannot handle the surge cleanly. Spiritual power rises, heat overwhelms control, and the situation turns into a ridiculous misunderstanding right when relatives are present. And right when you think the gifts cannot get stranger, the brown-haired young man casually brings up a rare golden object in front of cultivator companions who absolutely do not share his calm. They look at this thing like it should be locked behind 100 formations, while he handles the idea of taking it home almost like a normal transaction. That contrast is the entire joke. The vision connected to it goes huge, golden mountains, a massive Buddha-like presence, and a red and gold monkey warrior crashing forward with divine force. So even if the exact nature of the item stays unclear, the message is not unclear at all. This thing is tied to a legendary level of power. Back in the room, talk of auctioning it becomes ridiculous, because ordinary money suddenly feels like a child's answer to an immortal problem. The next turn begins with noise, gossip, and people reacting around a brown-haired figure as if some secret opportunity has just been exposed. A long-haired man in dark robes enters, and the whole atmosphere tightens because he carries himself like someone used to being obeyed. People keep responding around him, but he stays calm, almost too calm, while the conversation hints at a hidden role or unknown value behind whatever they are discussing. Then the story moves toward a pink-haired young woman and a teal-robed young man, and for a moment it feels like the pace might settle. It does not. Snow and cold spiritual force suddenly take over the scene, trapping several characters in an icy crisis. By the end, an older orange-robed cultivator-like figure appears, and a white-robed man with a small golden glow raises the stakes again. This stretch is the hardest to pin down because the visual evidence is thin, but the readable clues still point toward a tense cultivation puzzle. Someone reacts to another person's arrival with surprise, as if a known figure has stepped into a situation where he was not expected. The discussion seems to turn around talent, chess, and whether a difficult game can be cracked at all. That matters because in this world, a simple game is almost never just a simple game. It can become a test of insight, status, and spiritual comprehension. A name resembling Taoist Tianyin appears in the fragments, but the surrounding action cannot be safely confirmed. So the safest beat is this. The group faces a challenge built around strategy and perception, and the real tension is whether anyone present actually understands the board they are standing in front of. Then the icy situation becomes clear enough to turn terrifying and ridiculous at once. Characters stand inside a freezing blue chamber, surrounded by cold spiritual energy, while a white-haired or blue-haired figure appears trapped, seated, or sealed inside an ice-like structure. The people nearby are not attacking. They are trying to understand whether the frozen figure can be helped, and the mood is heavy because they talk like being frozen to death is a real possibility. Then a long-haired woman arrives with a small box from Master Li, looking almost cheerful about it. And this is where it gets absurd. She explains that she thought he wanted her to put a refrigerator inside the box. The frozen figure goes silent, and the older bearded man looks completely destroyed by the realization that a divine crisis may have started from a misunderstanding. After all that pressure, the story lets the group breathe in a warm town or festival setting. A brown-haired young man in blue or teal moves through the lively streets with companions, including a pink-haired young woman and a small pale-haired girl. The energy is lighter here, with playful exchanges, food, lanterns, crowds, and the kind of public celebration that makes everyone feel temporarily protected. The pink-haired woman keeps drawing attention with bright, excited reactions, while the young man seems more cautious, like he knows normal outings in this world never stay normal for long. An older gray-haired figure is also with them, making the gathering feel more like a protected party than a random walk. But the final shift toward darker buildings and more serious figures tells you the festival warmth is only cover. Something else is already moving behind the lights. And right when everyone is relaxed, the trap springs. A robed woman suggests letting the young disciples enjoy fruit, which makes the gathering feel harmless for one more second. Then a black, shadowy figure drops from the night sky over the festival area, and the whole tone snaps. The attacker is shown looming over or grabbing a small pale-haired child, and the red-haired woman immediately reacts in alarm. A bright golden-white strike cuts through the danger, forcing the shadowy presence back or disrupting the attack before it can fully play out. But the emotional damage is done. The adults argue anxiously afterward, shaken by the fact that danger reached the children during what was supposed to be a simple outing. Even the comedy aftercare cannot erase the point. The enemy knows where to hit them now. That fear carries straight into the forest, where a dark purple demonic mass sinks from the night sky and lands near burning trees. King Luo and his companions recognize the threat as the demonic Taoist, and King Luo warns him that his evil actions will provoke the hidden expert behind them. The demonic Taoist does not flinch. He mocks the warning, confident enough to stand there in human form before the fight explodes. King Luo answers with Earth Dragon Fire, summoning a massive flaming dragon that forces even the demon to take notice, especially because the technique is tied to the vanished Xiuxian immortal dynasty and its dragon vein. But here is the brutal catch. The demonic Taoist has hostages. He reveals 2 captured women connected to the confrontation and threatens to use their spiritual roots as protection, turning King Luo's strongest attack into a moral trap. This stretch works because the manhua keeps flipping the same joke into real danger. Master Li's world treats divine-level treasures like household items, but the outside world has to survive the fallout. Soup becomes a cultivation bomb, a box becomes an icy misunderstanding, and a casual gift can make experts question reality. But the demonic Taoist changes the tone. He is not just confused by hidden power. He adapts to it, brings hostages, and weaponizes family ties against King Luo. That means the next conflict is not about who has the stronger technique. It is about whether the heroes can protect innocent people without giving the demon exactly the opening he wants. Subscribe for the next manhua recap, because this hostage trap is where the comedy stops being safe.